Good morning, Crossroads Church family. It's Amy, the optimistic mama. And this is your morning mugshot. Happy New Week, everybody. I hope that you are feeling encouraged and that you're feeling refreshed and rejuvenated despite a very soggy weekend. We did have one solid, awesome Saturday, so hopefully you're out there in the garden or enjoying some fresh air. But here I am back again this morning to just try and connect with you moms at home. And I don't know about you, but this extended Groundhog's Day has really been conjuring up a lot for me. And I am thankful for this time of kind of some self-confrontation and conviction. And I'm hoping that as we kind of let up, hopefully we are going to let up from some of these social restrictions, that the things that have been laid on our hearts and that we've been kind of wrestling with don't just kind of fall away because of the new thing. I'm very hopeful that for myself anyways, that I recognize the little lessons that God has put before me in this time, and that I will work through them even as things continue to change. Last week I talked a little bit about this book called Teaching from Rest by Sarah Mackenzie, and I'm so thankful that I found it again on my shelf. As I mentioned, it is a book earmarked for a homeschooling mom, but honestly and truly I would recommend it to anyone. It's been such a gift to me in the last couple of days, and just some of the things just really stuck out that I want to bring about today. And it made me think of the whole journey and the expanse of motherhood. Somebody yesterday had commented about long distance parenting. And that's something that I haven't taken into consideration because I'm so immersed in the early stages of parenting. You know, like I have a 0 to nearly 9-year-old in my house. So we're still kind of in the primary years. And you get so caught up when you're in that particular trench or in that particular stage of life. But there are moms in this congregation that are still parents, but also grandparents. And I discount that, I think, sometimes because of the stage being as different as it is. But when someone commented yesterday about long distance parenting, my heart just felt, for a second. Like here I am, I don't know if complaining, but so focused on the here and now of being so required by my children that I don't take into account these moms who are unable to see their children, who can't put their arms around them, who can't, do the motherly things that you like to do for your adult children, or to embrace your grandchildren. These are all hardships that we're going through. And I kind of wanted to tether it all in for whoever might be watching this. First, I want to, I don't know if apologize is the right word, but that I haven't taken into consideration that motherhood is this big old spectrum, because I'm so consumed with my own stage. And there is just so much wisdom to glean from older moms. And we're in this learning and growing together. But I wanted to, he's in the playroom taking videos with children, am I right? So here we go. One was a Bible verse. It's a good place to start, isn't it? In Matthew. Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little, I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. Our task is to love God with all of our heart, mind, soul, and strength, and to do it in front of and with our kids. And this is something that just really hit me. Like we are tasked this awesome responsibility of raising up our kids. And isn't it the desire of our hearts for the long distance now parenting of an adult child to hear that, well done, my good and faithful servant. Now, we are not the ones who are going to convert our children or, make sure, secure them into heaven. That's not our role. Our job is to steward every moment that we have with them so that at the end of this, we can hear, well done, my good and faithful servant. This is not a race. Parenting is, it's all day long and it's forever. I am grown, and you bet I still contact my mom when I don't know how to do a thing in the kitchen, which is more often than not. Or just to, cry in the way that you can only show and bear emotion with someone that you know loves you in that special way. So long distance parents, don't lose heart. Your value is still so significant, and that burden is still there. It just looks so different than I can appreciate because I'm just not in that stage. So that was a verse from Matthew that I wanted to touch on. And then I wanted to touch on moms here now that have young children at home. Right now, I have a nearly 1-year-old trying to bite my leg because he wants me to pick him up. And I will in a second. But I wanted to talk about this. We are weary. Was any mom feeling that way at all? We are weary because we forget about grace. We act as though God's showing up is the miracle. Guess what? God's showing up is the given. Grace is a fact. And I don't know, you know how you know something, but then maybe you're just hearing it in a time where your heart is ready? But that is certainly something that just smacked me in the face this week as I read it. That oh, God showed up, amazing. Well, God's already here. Why am I forgetting this? Grace is a fact. It's not something that I have to, I hope that it's here today. And I absolutely have felt that way. I don't know if it's going to come. God's already here. We need to rest assured that that is always the case. And those were two things that I just thought, on the daily grind, we forget that it's not something that we're going to see a finished product at the end of the day. Children aren't packages to be delivered. And as we parent and our children get older and start to make more independent decisions, we can only hope that we were good stewards of the time that we had while they were underfoot. Which is a phrase that I never really enjoyed, but I get it now as I'm doing the dishes and I literally have a child crawling around my legs asking for my attention. Oh, he's such a delight, guys. But yeah, we forget about grace. Let us never grow weary. Let us never forget about grace. Let us never forget that God is already here. And as Pastor Nate was talking about yesterday, we were adopted into this family. We were chosen to be children. The Father of all things, He created the universe. The wind recognizes His voice. We have access to this. And yes, I will admit, I forget this. I forget this through the day. And as I'm dealing with, just the monotonous, mundane aspects of the daily stuff of being at home. But it's all for His glory. It's all kingdom work. And as we are at home so much and we're not getting that connection and that back and forth with other people, may I be that voice as a reminder. You're doing this for Him, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fall, and take that as encouragement. I know that I do because I fail and fall multiple times a day. But even if you're falling in front of your kids, which you probably are if you're anything like the other human moms, but look at those as opportunities. Flip your negative, oh, I screwed up as a mom today, and flip it around I'm going to bring this to my children and myself to the cross. Let's do this together. Let's recognize that we need to repent to God, obviously, but sometimes we need to repent in front of our kids, and sometimes they need to repent in front of us. But let's also give them that assurance and remind yourself to have that assurance that once you leave it there, just leave it. We're moving on. New mercy, new grace, He's already there. but every opportunity is a teachable opportunity, whether it's academic, social, emotional, but every opportunity is a God opportunity. Bring it to the cross. Bring it to the cross, because that's where all of the difference is made. So we can rest assured that we were good, good and faithful servants. So be encouraged, church family. Know that you are just prayed over and loved. And I just can't wait to see you all. So sorry, put them down there. Have a wonderful week. It's supposed to be super gray and wet and dreary. So brace yourself for that mess with the kids in the house. Come up with some crafts or some pastimes, but be encouraged. It's all for Him. It's all glory work, whether it's cleaning a toilet or washing a dish or reminding your kids for the 17th time that that's not showing love and consideration for each other. That's been my tagline lately. I miss you, but be encouraged.